Good morning and welcome to WHIO Reports, a community service of News Center 7 and WHIO Radio. I'm Jim Otte. On the program today, the drive to recruit more foster parents in Ohio and promote more adoptions here in the Miami Valley and all across the state. For a variety of reasons, the need for foster parents is on the rise dramatically. Local and state agencies are reaching out to people to give it a look. If you've ever considered being a foster parent or you're brand new to this process, now is the time to give it some consideration. In the next 30 minutes, our guests will be talking about the process and why the need to help those kids is so great. Let's meet our guest now. Kristi Burre is the director of the Office of Children's Services Transformation at the Ohio Department of Job and Family Services. Denise Estep is the deputy director of the Clark County Children's Services Division. Sophia Fisher is a foster parent here in Montgomery County. Thanks for being with us. Okay, so Kristi, how long have you been on the job now? You're in the new administration at the State House, is that correct?
I am, and today is day 9.
Okay, very good. So you are brand new.
Absolutely.
In transformation services, that sounds like making changes sometimes.
Yes, I've been in children's services for almost 20 years, and this is a great opportunity to really get some changes in our system. So
okay, now Denise, you're in Clark County. You're in the county agency.
Correct. So I'm Deputy Director of Family and Children's Services in Clark County, and I've been in that role for about 9 months, but I've been with Children's Services for over 20 years.
And Sophia, you're from here in Montgomery County, although not originally.
Yes.
But how far back do you go in the foster parenting mode?
We did our training in fall of 2016.
Okay, so relatively new, but not
Yes.
too far back. Okay, so let's talk about this campaign. The campaign to really reach out to parents who might have thought perhaps this is something for them. I'm talking about foster parenting here. Why this campaign? Why now?
You know, we've had a significant increase over the last 5 years with the number of kids that are coming into protective placement in the state of Ohio. We're up at almost 16,000, over 16,000 children that are in our custody, and we have half as many foster families for those kids that are licensed here in the state of Ohio. I think we have around 7,000. A lot of that has to do with the opioid epidemic and how that's really hit our state and our local county children's services agencies. So our agency has really invested some time in doing a better job in recruiting those who are interested in fostering and adopting to help us provide good homes for these kids.
The video we've been watching here, and if you're listening on WHIO Radio, you'll see this on my Facebook page. This video is a public service announcement trying to get that word out. Denise, from your county perspective, how difficult is it to reach out to parents? It's not like you have $1 million ad campaign. Where do you connect with people the best?
Yeah, best way to recruit is through word of mouth of current foster parents. That's usually how we get new foster parents. But we have recruitment events, is what they're called, where we'll have activities or events in the community where we have registration or information, tell them how they can go about signing up.
Okay, so Sophia, when you were brand new to this, is something that you had considered way off in the past and said, okay, now's the time? Or was it all at once?
To be honest, I think it was on my 3rd date with my husband. We were talking about, did we want to have kids eventually? And we both mentioned that we had wanted to foster and adopt. So we kind of had always wanted to do it.
I want to go now to the State House, as a matter of fact. We're talking about your boss now, Kristi.
Okay.
Governor Mike DeWine in his State of the State address talked about, first off, his intention in calling you out, calling upon you and your talents to really make all this happen when it comes to foster parenting. I'm going to show a clip here. You'll listen to it here. This is from the governor's State of the State address. So here's Governor Mike DeWine.
I have also instructed my Director of Foster Care Initiative, Kristi Burre, to focus every day on ways to better help children and families. We elevated that position through an executive order that I signed several minutes after I was sworn in. We're going to continue our efforts to recruit more foster and adoptive parents and better support kinship caregivers, primarily grandparents who find themselves unexpectedly caring for these children and who are doing a great job.
That's Governor Mike DeWine in his State of the State address just a bit ago. So, Kristi Burre, what is it like to hear the governor first off mention your name and give you a shout out and say, look, this is right at the top of our agenda for the state of Ohio? I'm not sure that any other governor has really given it that much attention.
You know, first of all, I am so appreciative for Governor Mike DeWine. His first executive budget really prioritizes investing into our future, and children and families are at the core of all of that. And you're right, not something that in my 20 years that has been elevated and prioritized the way that he is prioritizing it. Specifically in the area of foster families and kinship families, part of his proposal is investing $5 million into our recruitment efforts to get more foster families and kinship families for our children, and we're just so appreciative.
Denise, you see the need out there. The state's got to invest in this if they want to really take it seriously. Just your take on that.
Yeah, we are super thrilled that the governor is supporting public children's services agencies, and he's made it very clear that none of us are going to be left behind in each county, because every county has different needs based on the customers that we serve.
You know, it's one thing for the state to set this as an agenda item, and occasionally governors in the past have come up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 agenda items. Then they months later move on to something else. But I get the sense that this administration is really in on this. But to make it work, though, Denise, it's up to the counties to really implement that. Am I correct here?
Yes, it is. I mean, we definitely have support from the state, from ODJFS, but each county has their own recruitment plan, has their own activities, and must find their own foster homes to place children in. So each county will be doing some work to recruit families as the year goes on.
So, Sophia, as a foster parent, what was your reaction when you saw the new governor right out of the box say, okay, look, this is one of my top priorities here? Finally, somebody at the State House, I think the phrase is, gets it about foster parenting?
I think it's really encouraging. There's a lot of need, especially with the opioid epidemic. And I looked at the website that you guys have put together, and there's especially a need for teenagers, and we've been talking about that a lot in Montgomery County. I'm part of the Foster Parent Advisory Board here. I think it's great to see it all across the state.
Yeah, I went to the website. It's interesting you would mention that. I went to the website. It seems to be pretty instructive, not super detailed and scary for those people who are just kind of shopping. Did you go online at first when you said, hey, maybe this is something for me? I thought it was a great resource.
Yeah, I think when we first got involved, we went to the Montgomery County foster parent website, and it was a little hard to find and a little outdated. So seeing a new state website that's really, honestly, really pretty and really modern is kind of exciting.
Yeah. Denise, how do you find people? How do they find you? You mentioned word of mouth, but that's got to be somewhat limiting. Are you on social media? I mentioned you probably do not have the ad campaign that Kristi had.
No, we do not have the ad campaign.
You don't have the big money.
But obviously, we put that out in our foster parent newsletter. We can put that on our Facebook or social media pages. And right now, with Child Abuse Prevention Month coming up, there'll be some push and awareness brought to children's services around the state.
Take a minute, Kristi, before we take the break here. Take a minute to describe what that message is overall to parents.
So, you know, we just launched the new website at the state. It's fosteranadopt.jfs.ohio.gov, and it's fabulous. We were able to put that in place based on some recommendations from a statewide foster advisory group. And it's all about, it takes 100% heart. It doesn't matter who you are. It's about finding people that willing to share their families and to open their homes and their hearts with these kids and partner with their local children's services agencies. And so that's what we're really focusing on in this campaign.
And it is a partnership. We'll have to take a break here. Coming up, a story from News Center 7's Kate Bartley about a local woman who's gotten involved in foster parenting in a very, very big way. WHIO Reports.
we're extending our Memorial Day sale to offer you more style and more savings, like up to 50% off and 5 years no interest. Plus extra 5% off for veterans and active military. This Memorial Day, make your home more you. Ends Monday at Morris Home.
For over 50 years, Cracker Barrel has been cooking home-style favorites to perfection. We thought we'd celebrate that tradition with new, crispy, juicy Southern Fried Chicken. Bring it on home in our 12-piece picnic box with all the fixins. New Southern Fried Chicken, now at Cracker Barrel.
Fit Me Foundation from Maybelline, New York. Fit skin tone and texture in 2 finishes. Matte and poreless and dewy and smooth. 64 fits. Fit Me Foundation, only from Maybelline, New York.
Furniture City is closing for a total restructuring. They're updating the store and all old inventory has to go. Drastic reductions on everything in the store. Living rooms, bedrooms, dining rooms, accessories, mattresses, up to 70% off. Furniture City in Dayton.
With Lee's, homestyle can happen anywhere. Stop by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken and get a 12-piece meal for only $27.99. 12 mixed pieces of our Famous Recipe Chicken, 3 large sides, and 6 biscuits, all for only $27.99. Only at Lee's.
Time is running out on the final days to get a great deal on a new Toyota. But it all ends June 3rd.
Get $1,000 cash back on a new 2019 Tacoma or $2,500 back on Tundra. Toyota, let's go places.
Ashley Home Store's Memorial Day sale has been extended. Save up to 50%, plus get 0% interest for 5 years. Plus, we're celebrating veterans and active military with an extra 5% off. Ends Monday at 9 p.m. Ashley Home Store.
Welcome back to WHIO Reports. I'm Jim Otte. On the program today, foster parenting and adoption. The drive's on now to link more kids with foster and adoptive parents all around the Miami Valley in the state of Ohio. If you want to find out what's coming up in future programs here, check my Facebook page. I'm also at Twitter at Otte, WHIO. Our guest this morning, Kristi Burre, is the Director of the Office of Children's Services Transformation of the Ohio Department of Job and Family Services. Denise Estep is the Deputy Director of the Clark County Children's Services Division. Sophia Fisher is a foster parent here in Montgomery County. Sophia, thanks for doing that. I think it's a great, on your part, great thing to do. News Center 7's Kate Bartley has an interesting story for you this morning about just how serious this situation has become to find foster parents for some of these kids. We'll hear from Kate and then talk with our guest about it. Kate's story begins with an interesting twist on some of the numbers when it comes to one family's involvement with foster kids. Here's Kate.
1 was a relative placement. 2 and 3 were our first actual foster placements. 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 are our oldest 2 that we've adopted, and their brother and sister. 9, and then 10. 11 is Judah, who we adopted. 12, 13, 14, 15 was a baby that we sat with in the NICU for a week. 16 and then 17 we still have with us. 18, 19, and 20 was a sibling group that we had for just before Christmas.
Yep, 20 kids in all, and Cindy Swafford knows she'll be adding to this collage.
The phone could ring while we're sitting here.
The Swafford family has been recognized by President Trump. They made national news when their adopted son Caleb reunited with his biological father.
I'm sorry. It's fine. It's fine.
Today, the Clayton mom showed us around the open beds waiting for little ones. In the midst of the drug epidemic, more than half of the kids she and her husband have fostered were born addicted.
We have seen babies that have come home with that, that sharp cry, the extreme irritability, the stomach discomfort.
The number of children in state custody peaked last year at more than 16,000 kids. That's a 28% increase over just the last 5 years. And since 2013, it's cost $100 million more to take care of them.
We have children who are behaviorally and psychologically out of control. We put them in a box, and it's almost like putting a wild animal in a cage sometimes is what it feels like from a child welfare perspective, because these kids are fighting and scratching and clawing and running away.
Jewel Good is Children's Services Director for Montgomery County. She says many of these kids have experienced major trauma, like being prostituted for drugs or finding their parents overdosed.
You can only imagine what that does to a child.
Children's Services recently bought cots for the day when there might be nowhere left for kids to sleep but the lobby of this building.
I mean, do you feel sometimes like it's overwhelming?
It is overwhelming sometimes. I don't just feel it, it is.
Well, here's our war. Here's our emergency. Here's our crisis.
Helen Jones-Kelly runs Montgomery County Alcohol, Drug Addiction, and Mental Health Services. She says there simply are not enough caregivers and resources to protect children here.
We are succeeding in terms of bringing the numbers of overdoses down and saving lives, certainly. But we're not succeeding in terms of the trauma and the carnage that's left when this wreaks a family's life.
The county and state want to get these kids with family or get them back with family as soon as they safely can. Until then, they are grateful for people like Cindy and her husband.
More tricks. I think you've had enough tricks.
Willing to protect, love, and provide for kids who may never remember them.
And I send part of my heart with me every time I send a kid home.
Kate Bartley, News Center 7.
Thank you, Kate, for that great report. Kristi Burre, what goes through your mind when you see that incredible story?
Amazing, and we need more of this. I've had so many great interactions and relationships with foster families and kinship families over the years, and this is what it's about. It's about finding people that open their homes like this and really love on these kids, and also understand how important it is that if possible we get kids back safely and quickly to their family of origin. But until we're able to do that, if we're able to do that, we need more of this. She's amazing. Amazing.
Denise, foster parenting is a short-term commitment. How long is that engagement on average for most parents?
6 to 12 months, I would say, would be a good average. So as Kristi said, you know, if we can get the children home as quickly as possible, that's our goal, so that they can have the least trauma that they have to deal with possible. If they have to stay longer, then we really appreciate them having the stability of being in one home during that time they have to be away from their family.
What's the number one need of that child besides just a physical place to live? What are their needs like?
I think the support, that they can still have contact and have relationship with their biological family is so important, that they don't know what happened to their family. Sometimes they don't understand. So being able to still see their parents, know that they're okay, even if they're going through hard times.
Sophia, could you imagine what it's like dealing with, over those years, for that family, more than a dozen, almost 24 kids over time? That seems overwhelming to me, but in our family, we only had 3 kids. But for you?
Sure. I mean, our priest and his wife over the course of 30 years had 75 kids in their home.
Wow.
And the priest's wife told me that she was hoping that I break her record. So we're committed for the long haul.
Okay, so the long haul, what is that? Denise, for those people who are interested in, let's say, getting in touch with your agency in Clark County, how does that conversation start? When they come to you, what kind of questions do they have? What is that? Where does that begin? Because they're really probably not ready to make a commitment. They're just asking questions there.
Right. So there's introductory, we have brochures and pamphlets that can maybe answer some of their questions. Some of those can be answered on our website. And most PCSAs have their own website. Ours is ccdgfs.org. Also, some of those questions are answered on the state website, the one that Kristi stated earlier, the foster-and-adopt.jfs.ohio.gov. But they can call in, they can walk in, they can ask for information. If they come to any of our recruitment events, we'll be happy to answer questions there as well.
And a note, and correct me if this is not exactly right, but no matter where people live in the Miami Valley, there is a county agency right in your county that you can go to in the county seat, ask questions, get an appointment, go in and talk face-to-face to explore this possibility. What do you tell those parents who might be watching or listening on WHIO radio thinking, well, maybe this is for me? What would you tell them, Denise?
I would say check it out, that it's worth, it could change your life, and it could change your one child, 50, 75 children's lives. So I think it's worth looking into, and it's worth opening your heart up to some children.
What about state help? Now, Kristi, this administration and so far the legislature has been pretty open to this idea. However, getting it started and then carrying that forward for the next couple of years, those are two different things sometimes. What is your master plan to really make the most of this push?
Again, Governor Mike DeWine and his commitment to really transforming not just our foster care system, but children's services in general across the state. We're going to do that. We're going to prioritize it. This website is one example of the state kind of stepping up and helping the counties to have a broader kind of scope on trying to have resources for families. One of the great things about the new website is there's a search tool. So you can go there and look for agencies, county agencies, private agencies near you that you may want to foster or adopt through. And that's an example of us trying to do a better job with streamlining things, being more supportive to the counties to assist them. It's all about investing into finding family for kids, finding other families that are willing to open their homes, because we have a lot of families in crisis right now, and we want to try to provide as much stability as possible to kids while they're going through that.
We're going to take another break here. We'll be showing you the address of the website for the state of Ohio. But really, if you're interested and you want to go online, just search for any of the Job and Family Services, foster kids in Ohio, and adoption in Ohio. You'll be able to find it all right there. Stay with us here in WHIO Reports. We'll be back with more talking about foster parenting and adoption across the state of Ohio and here in the Miami Valley.
Extending our Memorial Day sale to offer you more style and more savings, like up to 50% off and 5 years no interest, plus extra 5% off for veterans and active military. This Memorial Day, make your home more you. Ends Monday at Morris Home.
Health Foods Unlimited is celebrating 42 years. Stock up and save on your favorite brands of vitamins, health and beauty care, natural and organic groceries, and pet food. Health Foods Unlimited.
Natural way of caring for you.
After an accident, injured victims are harassed by lawyers and doctors who call, write, and text you to get your case. Why hire an ambulance chaser when you can hire us? Call Dyer, Groffman, and Schultz at 1-800-INJURED and let us fight for you.
At the Original Mattress Factory, we manufacture and sell only of mattresses. This allows us to eliminate the huge middleman markups that are all too common in the mattress industry.
We do all of our own production. We sell it factory direct. It creates a great value for our customers.
We design it, build it, sell it, and deliver it. And if we don't have it, we'll make it.
It's an extremely high-quality, well-built mattress and box spring set that is sold at the lowest price possible. You'll see how much further your dollar goes with Original Mattress Factory.
Sometimes, the best way to advance healthcare is by rocking back and forth.
How's the family?
Sometimes, preventative care starts in a barber chair. Find Premier Health beyond the walls of our hospitals and in every corner of our community. Our care lives here. Premier Health.
Only the Better Sleep Shop could extend a Memorial Day this incredible. Sleep on a Tempur Pro Adapt mattress for as low as $25 a month and up to a $300 gift card plus free delivery at the Better Sleep Shop at Morris Home and Ashley Home Store.
Welcome back to WHIO Reports. I'm Jim Otte. We're talking about help for kids in need all around the Miami Valley and throughout the state of Ohio. This is through foster parenting and adoption. Our guest this morning, Kristi Burre, is the director of the Office of Children's Services Transformation at the Ohio Department of Job and Family Services. I don't see how they fit that on your nameplate or on your business cards. Denise Estep is the deputy director to Clark County Children's Services Division. Sophia Fisher is with us from Montgomery County. She is a foster parent here. So, Kristi, what is the best way for people to find out more information? Whatever questions they have, is it through your website, or can they just call the state of Ohio or get a referral? What's the best?
Certainly we encourage you to reach out to your local children's services agencies in your county. It's all about relationships, and the counties are always willing to just answer general questions. Our focus on launching the new website at the state level through the Ohio Department of Job and Family Services is really about giving everyone some more opportunity to learn, to reach out. You can go to the website, and again, it was fosterandadopt.jfs.ohio.gov. You can fill out a contact card there. There's ways that you can fill out information so that we can get back with you. There's also an email. It takes heart@jfs.ohio.gov so that you're able, if you want to first just kind of go back and forth communicating that way, to ask your questions or get advice about local agencies that they may be interested in. We're trying to implement more and more opportunities and resources and tools and information because we really need people.
Denise, do you reach out on social media? I found so many agencies, especially nonprofits who don't have the big money for all the advertising. Social media is a good way to get that word of mouth really rolling there.
Right. So we do have a social media account with Clark County Family and Children's Services, and we also have a website, Clark County Department of Job and Family Services. But since that's just for Clark County, I just want to add that every PCSA, every public children's services agency could license or have people in your local community to license foster parents. But you can walk into our agency, you can call our agency, you can get online and email us, or there's the state that you can search us and find us through there. There's many ways to find us, and of course at any JFS sponsored event, there's typically recruitment people present to answer questions.
Sophia, your advice to parents who are maybe thinking, maybe this is for me, or maybe this is for a friend?
Just keep talking about it. Find foster and adoptive parents to talk to your local county agency, read about it on the internet. Just keep finding information and you'll be able to figure out what you want to do.
Is there any one thing in your family that between yourself and your spouse that you said, okay, this is what really convinced me, I'm going to take that step forward?
I think it was just talking to other foster parents. We walked into the information session at Montgomery County and listened, and by the end of it, we felt like it was for us.
Is it true that it's not just a calculation, but it's a feeling?
Yes, absolutely.
It's like, this feels right yes. For me, and timing is a big issue with a lot of families. Kristi, just about 30 seconds left here. Look down the road. Your expectations, I imagine, are very high for this, starting something new and then moving forward.
Absolutely. I mean, certainly my hope is that we don't have as many children who need to be removed from their families and need to stay in temporary care. So there's been a significant increase over the last 5 years, and my hope is that with some of the changes that we're going to be making and new approaches and new programs to be more preventative in our communities, my hope is that that number starts to decrease instead of continuing to go up. But meanwhile, we have to be prepared, and the number of licensed foster families that we currently have in our state just isn't meeting the need. So really encouraged.
It's all part of the transformation, as I say.
Absolutely.
That's all the time we have. Kristi, thanks for your time, the new kid on the block, and Denise and Sophia, thanks for your efforts here in Montgomery County as well. If anybody has any interest in what they're doing and how you might be able to help, check it out all online. While you're on the web this weekend, go to our website. It's at WHIO.com. You see what's happening in the news here in the Miami Valley and all around the world. That's our program. I'm Jim Otte. See you next week at WHIO Reports.